Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I got another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you guys submit your gaming or Battlefield 3 related questions, and then I give my opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way, if you would like to submit your own question, you can do so by sending me a YouTube message with the title line Q&A, and I could potentially talk about it in a future episode. The first question for today is, what are your thoughts on there being a map editor / sandbox mode for Battlefield 4? It's obviously too late to expect it in its current title, but I would personally love to see this edition along with Battle Recorder in the next title. Games like Halo 3's Forge mode and Far Cry 2's map editor added so much longevity and possibilities to the games. I personally love the Far Cry 2 map editor and its ability to modify terrain, vehicle locations, and the ability to put in decoration, vegetation, vehicles, buildings, and structures, as well as spawn points, weather effects, and etc. I would love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I am completely on board with this idea. I would love to see some sort of modding or map tools in Battlefield 4 because, like you mentioned, it really does increase the longevity of the game. But not only that, I do believe that it also helps out the developer, and that's really for a couple of reasons. I mean, the StarCraft universe in general is a great example of this. In StarCraft 2, Blizzard has created basically a modding community that constantly makes new mods, and people vote on these mods and bring them up to the top so people can enjoy them and play them. And when you create a system like that where people basically only play the game for those mods, or you know, they bounce back and forth from the main game to the modding community, you have people continuously playing your game and enjoying your game. And when you do this, like I said, you have people always playing your game. And not only that, when new expansion comes out, they're probably, like I said, I don't have any stats to back this up, but they're probably more likely to play those expansion packs. A good example of this, at least for me, is that when I play a single player game, I beat it and then I move on to other titles, and when an expansion comes out for that, I've basically moved on to another title and I have absolutely no interest in picking up that expansion. But if I'm playing a multiplayer game, or I'm playing a game that has a fantastic modding community behind it, I'm probably playing the mods, I'm probably playing the main game, and I'm still interested in that title, and then when a new expansion pack comes out, I'm probably more likely to pick up that expansion pack because I am continuing to play the game and I want to get more out of it. So admittedly, when I saw that Battlefield 3 wasn't going to have any modding tools, I was fairly disappointed. And I do understand that DICE did say that the reason why they didn't give these tools to the community was because it was too complicated, the Frostbite 2 engine was just too crazy, and that if anyone tried it other than a DICE employee, it would just get confused and they wouldn't have been able to create any maps. I think that this is pretty much a cop-out, and the main reason why they didn't want to do this was probably a higher-up decision. DICE said that they were going to support this game with a lot of DLCs, and because I'm assuming that they wanted people to buy their DLCs and not just play on the modded or the normal maps. And while I do understand this concern, and once again I have no statistics to back this up, I feel like a good modding community keeps people involved with the titles, and especially for those DLCs that are a year out or a couple of years out, like the Endgame DLC, they're probably not going to have a lot of people buying that DLC just because people have lost interest because their DLCs are just spread out over such a long period. So I honestly think that if they did have modding tools, people would continue to play the game and continue to buy their later DLCs. But that's just my opinion, and hopefully they understand that, and hopefully that they will have these tools for Battlefield 4. But I would love to hear what you guys think about this topic. Would you guys like to see these tools implemented into Battlefield 4? Let me know in the comments section below. The next question for today is, do you think the MAV should hover when unpiloted rather than slowly descend to the ground as it does now? Yeah, I think this is a pretty snazzy idea, and I can see a lot of situations where this would be very helpful for your team. You know, if you're playing on Caspian Border, you're trying to get up to the hilltop, you can fly this bad boy just pretty much directly over the capture point, and then you and your allies can push up onto the objective, and then whenever you want to spot things out, you know, go back into the MAV, survey the area, spot for your team once again, and then go about your day. I guess I could also see why DICE didn't want to put this into the game, because you would probably have have a bunch of MAVs just, floating up in the sky, all day. But I don't really see the problem behind that, because as of right now, I don't really see a lot of people using the MAV to its fullest potential. I also kind of made a video about that a couple of days ago where I went into some detail on a tactic that I don't think a lot of people use. And overall, people just don't really use the MAV or the tugs all that often. And this really could potentially increase the effectiveness of the class overall and make it a much more viable option on the battlefield. Some of you out there might think that if this was added into the game, it would make the MAV a little bit too powerful, but in my opinion, I think it would actually be quite balanced, because if you did deploy this tactic and you had it over a capture point, really all the enemy team would have to do was look up and shoot at it. It wouldn't be very hard to take out, and a Stinger missile would have absolutely no problem taking that out. So, while if the enemy team was completely oblivious to someone using the MAV effectively, it would probably be a lot better than it is right now. But then again, for everyone else who actually realizes what's going around in their surroundings, just looked up and took out the MAV, it would be balanced in my opinion. And really, I think it would add a lot more dynamic for the recon class, and once again, make it a much more viable option on the battlefield. The final question for today is, I just got a PC version of this game, and I had an Xbox version, and I was over the Destiny level. I'm not really sure what the Destiny level is, but alright. Playing a PC version, I realize that I get my ass kicked by veterans that are level 100. I get to the point where I stop playing because some veterans join low-level servers and I get an unfair advantage. I think DICE should make servers for newer players and also for veterans so the experience can be balanced. What do you think? So I do understand where you're coming from, and I realize that this can be extremely frustrating. Joining a new game that has been out for quite some time and just getting your face kicked in is not a very enjoyable experience. So I would recommend, because you are playing on PC, you can search for certain servers. So I would probably type in noob only in the search menu, and you're probably going to find a couple of servers that will suit your type of playstyle. I know that just the other day I joined, I think, 2 or 3 servers. I didn't look at the title of them, and I joined them. I killed a couple of people, and then I got banned from the admin for being too high of a rank. And so there are servers out there that will cater to noob players. You just kind of have to look. But you also have to realize that if you join a normal server, there's really no way around it. This game has basically been out for a year now, and you're going to have a very hard time getting around or trying to find a normal server that doesn't, cater to noobs, that isn't going to have a lot of high-ranked people out there. Once again, the game has been out for a very long time. People understand the game mechanics, and, you're probably going to be at a disadvantage for a while. So really, my main advice, once again, is to try to find these servers and really just kind of hang in there. You'll get used to everything. You'll get better at the game. For PC, getting used to PC controls, I realize, can be a little daunting at first, but once you get used to it, you'll start to dominate everyone out there, probably like you did on the Xbox. But yeah, guys, that's about it for today's Sunday Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed. But before I go, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about today's topics. Would you guys like to see modding tools in Battlefield 4? Would you guys like to see the MAV get changed slightly? Let me know in the comments section below. But if you guys enjoyed today's video or just want to support my channel, I always appreciate it when you give my videos a rating. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.